liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Mr. Hines, if you would. Mr. Hines is asked to lead us in prayer. If you want, you can sit down, stand up, whatever you want to do. Mr. Hines, go for it.
Creator of heaven and earth, we come with humility and grateful hearts. Thank you for your many blessings. Good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. Dear Lord, I ask that you would be in this meeting. Bless our city leaders with wisdom. Bless and protect and guide those who are involved in our city. Lord, let your peace reside. I'd like to say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The kingdom, the power, and the glory.
Thank you, Mr. Hines. Welcome, everybody. Are there any additions or corrections, alterations to the agenda? Walker?
No, I don't have any.
Rush? Mr. Holman? Mr. Case? No. I have none either, so I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
For the month of September 2025, we have a beginning balance of $904,293.97. Receipts at $13,858.55. Disbursements of $48,114.92, leaving an unaudited ending balance of $870,037.60.
Hearing none, Sheriff's report. Wilson, welcome.
All right, for the month of August, the Sheriff's Office handled 242 calls for service in Baldwin. There were 4 thefts reported. Those were all from the hardware store. They were after the fact. 2 of those were the same suspect. 1 we have lead on right now, and then 1 we're still waiting for them to provide us with a list of what was taken. No burglaries occurred in the city. There were 3 motor vehicle accidents, 12 medicals we responded to, 70 traffic stops, and 20 additional patrols were requested and performed for the public. Rest were miscellaneous calls for service. I believe you have a copy of that. Were there any issues, questions for us? Okay.
I don't. We have on the 27th, we also have another meeting before that happens, but Rough Start Rescue, I think Joan sent you an email. They're going to do an event there, if you will. So parking issues, we're going to try and get parking signs out there, whatever, to try and control some of that, if you will. You know what I mean? Last time it was a real mess there. The roads were plugged and people couldn't get through and things like that. We've been working with her as well also too to try and quell some.
Sounds good.
You'll hear more as we do.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Anything else for Sergeant Wilson? Thank you. Stay safe, sir. Thank you. Fire Department report. Mr. Fisher, welcome.
Thank you. Prior month's calls, 28 calls, 19 medicals, 1 vehicle fire, 1 structural fire, 1 mutual aid call, 1 hazardous condition calls. Those can be alarms, seal alarms, things like that. 3 grass/rubbish fires. Most of these at this time of year are brush piles that are burning sometimes with or without a permit. We had 3 citizen assist/rescues. I know we had 1 missing child or 2 missing children that we assisted in. We had 5 calls to Blue Hill. Our open house is this Saturday. It'll be from 11 to 3, so we appreciate many people as we can get there to attend. It's a good event. We also had our fire dance last month. Anticipated attendance was about what they thought it would be, 250, 300, so considered for the first year a success. And they're already discussing it and making plans to make this an annual event like Zimmerman's been doing for years.
Excellent. And then you guys also had a house burn.
Yeah, oh, yes, we did have a house burn. We burned a house down over just to the east of Elk Lake, about half a mile. I can't, that little lake there is,
Unnamed.
what?
That's an unnamed
One
lake.
lake, okay. And we had a fire team from the Cross Lake area. Chip Lowmiller is the chief up there. He was former football player for the Gophers and stuff, and he has a Fire Inc. Incorporated. So he brought his burn team down. We had lots of, we call them hits, when we start the fire in the rooms. And our first year firefighters and our level 1 firefighters, we set the, usually we use pallets and hay to start the fires. We set those up in the room. We bring the team into the door. We light. We show the fire behavior to the new firefighters, how it grows, how it goes to the ceiling, banks, comes towards them, and then how much you can, with just a very small amount of water and letting the water steam, turn to steam, you can knock down a significant amount of fire. So it's extremely educational for first firefighters. And then level 2 burns, we actually start the room on fire and let it grow, bank, and actually most of the time it's coming outside the room, and then the team will go in and put the fire out. So they deal with smoke conditions, heat conditions, and learn how to handle that. So they do have burn trailers that we have brought on site, but there's no substitute for being able to burn a house. And I've been fortunate to be on Forston's burn team, Malacca's burn team, and Princeton's burn team. So I've been involved in a lot of these, and it's invaluable for firefighters. So,
Anything else, sir?
no, I think you have another discussion.
We do. Let's start with letter A, discuss, approve, disapprove resolution 2521, an increase in benefit level for the statewide volunteer firefighters.
And Chief Case, I think it's been discussed of going to 4,800, which would still keep us at 116% funded, which is extremely safe, especially according to PARA. I did speak with surrounding departments, and that's we're in a pretty close area between Zimmerman and Princeton, so we do compete a little bit with the relief and the retirement fund with those two departments. Princeton is at 48 going to 5,000. Zimmerman is at 5,700. I did speak with the Malacca chief today, and they've been around for long. They're at 6,800.
Currently, I believe it's at 45, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So
I'll
It
make
was
a
way
motion.
overfunded at.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign.
I
Carries.
abstain.
That case. Okay, discuss, approve, disapprove fire department dance contribution of 7,500, Tom Rush.
Yeah, so when we approved this last January, I guess it was a loan. I thought it was a contribution all along, that they would have to repay us. My understanding would be a contribution, like a one-time contribution to get them off the ground from the city to contribute. So the dance is like, Assistant Chief Fisher mentioned that it will continue for years like Zinnerman. So it was a loan to repay, but I think me, you, others thought it was a contribution. So I will approve a one-time contribution of $7,500.
Motion? Motion and a second. Okay, is this to recoup what was from the last one or for the next year?
No, this is just a one-time contribution to get them to get them going, so they have money to go off for next year.
Any further discussion? None, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign? Motion
abstain.
carries.
I abstain.
Excellent, thank you. Anything else, sir? All right, have a great day. All righty, public comment requests, we have several. We will start, we'll take these, we'll open up the public comment portion of the meeting now. And we will ask that keep it to approximately 3 minutes a person. There are a few. If you want to get up and you want to speak, I'm going to ask you to step to the podium. Please keep it as brief as possible. Understand this is comment. This is not necessarily a dialogue between you and us. We'll do what we can. We may or may not be able to answer your questions at this point. And so we will go. If there are things that have been said by the previous person, whatever, please don't come and reiterate them. If you have new information, absolutely please come. So we will start with Berkeley and Heather Rogers. Would you please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Berkeley Rogers, my wife Heather. We're at 13923 290th Avenue. So we're just here to voice our concerns about the letter that we had gotten for the right-of-ways. We did already remove the mailbox posts. They were not put in by us. We didn't move in until May of '22. So that was from the previous owner. But anyways, we did take out the telephone poles that held up the mailbox. We took that out. We already got that fixed. But our concern is with they call them decorative rocks, and they're not, in my opinion, decorative rocks. It's a part of a boulder retaining wall that is kind of the bottom tier to our neighbors. And our land, our lot, we are at the bottom of that hill. And my concern is if we remove those rocks, or they have to remove part of their retaining wall, it's gonna basically flood our garage with water and the hill, essentially. So that's our concern.
Is there a possibility to remove some of those, to remove some of those going forward? You're talking about these large boulders here, correct?
Yes.
Well,
do you want, I just made color photos so you could get a better idea of the slope of the property. So this is the neighbor's retaining wall, and then
This is back here.
and then this is our boulder.
Yeah, and we're at the bottom. I mean, we are the bottom of the hill.
Pictures if you
Appreciate that. This one doesn't show.
want. What?
This one doesn't show.
No,
Yeah. Like from the street, if you were to
Here.
put a straight line from the street to we'd probably be about 4 feet down.
Okay, and our concern is, you know what I mean, that the plow is gonna come through and could possibly hit those. And so, and our concern too is for public safety, because technically that is an illegal structure in the road right away, hence why you guys got the letter. Hence why all of you guys have gotten the letter. Right, and so the one thing that we wanna make sure is that we have safety in mind, if you will, and also too, that it is the state that mandates what is legal to have and not legal to have. So not only are we worried about our plows, but we're also worried about public safety. And so the question then becomes, we had talked about an encroachment agreement or something like that, whatever, and this council discussed this actually at the last meeting when we talked about this. And really, an encroachment agreement, what basically would tell you that, you know, if we allowed you to leave it there, ultimately, you would be responsible for anything and everything that happens to it. Right? And so the other thing that I would also suggest is that you talk to your insurance company, because I don't think this is in this, if somebody were to get hurt on any one of the projects that we've got here, any one of these here, and it goes to court, everybody is going to be liable for that, right? And named, if you will. And so because the state would consider that an illegal act, I'm not sure that your homeowners would insurance, umbrella policy, would cover you under the clause of an illegal act. So it was our thought at that point in time, rather than putting the people into that harm, if you will, let's just have them remove it and away we go. And so if we look at what your neighbors is up above there, I would think that if they could curve a couple of these blocks in up here, which I believe is also in the realm and the scope of what we've seen here, you know what I mean? Then ultimately that would keep that from washing you out.
Well, if they remove theirs, everything that they have is going to come and wash
Well, and
itself,
I don't think they have to remove all of it, just what is in the road right of way.
which is a lot.
And it could very well be.
I'll show you.
One at a time, please.
Yeah, I can show you how far it goes. So
It's a telephone pole?
it would go to
It looks like about 4 or 5
1, 2, 3.
boulders.
It'd be all the way to here.
It'd be half that wall probably.
Yeah. It's the fourth one in.
So
And if that was done and the wall was turned sideways, whatever, if you will, and built that way, I think that could be a way to accommodate this.
well, what about the right of way between the street and where you curve in the boulders? I mean, does the city have, I mean, it's your right of way, right? So does the city have liability to come out and fix it? If it washes in,
The erosion problem?
No, Bob?
No, we don't have liability for any sort of drainage or erosion problem. We would have a problem because of an obstruction in the road right of way. There's case law, which I cited in the letter to you, that makes us liable because of our road easement. You still own the underlying land, but we have an easement for road right of way over that portion of your land and the other people's lands. And because of that, the courts have said, if there's an obstruction and somebody gets injured because of that, a snowmobiler or somebody else, in the case I cited you, it was a snowmobiler. And this, in that case, it was a county, because it was county road right of way. They didn't even know the obstruction was there. They didn't authorize it, they didn't know about it, and they were still held liable for it because of their road easement. So that's the reason why we have to take these types of things seriously.
Appears that it's terrible road easement because there's some points where the road itself goes off to the north, out of the easement, meaning that it's very deep into these southerly properties, which, I mean, we got more road right of way to the south than we even need.
And so,
You're just hanging on the, it's in our right of way, so therefore we have to do something, but it's ridiculously far off of the actual roadway being used and the area that snow is being applied to when plowed.
and
So we're making an issue out of almost a non-issue, other than just a technicality about some. Now we have a full house here over this.
so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go with this?
Wow,
I'm telling you, because, all right, and
you're adamant about this, I
yeah,
see that.
basically, if we were to allow this, then what we're saying is, yes, we will help defend either ourselves with public tax dollars and everybody else's dollars, tax dollars, if you will, whatever, to allow you to continue to have this illegal structure.
I think we have too much right of way in some of these.
It's 30 feet. We measured it.
And 30 feet is not much. So by the time we think about snow storage,
30 feet's into like some buildings along this road.
right?
So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, this isn't a simple cut and dry, you know, oh, yep, it's gotta be this way.
Yeah, and a
So I'm a
typical,
little afraid that we've kind of put out a little too much here without really considering all the ramifications.
Well, this one here was brought to us by I think there's a way that you and your neighbors either could work together, whatever, or do what you need to do to remove that out of there and still take care of the drainage.
well, the reason why it was put in the first place, and as we had stated, we have only lived there for 3 years. They did this 15 some years ago because of all the drainage issues. And the people that lived there before, their garage would flood out because of all the water running down the driveway.
In your house, the people in your
Yes.
house here.
Our house.
Like I said, we're the bottom of the hill. And if people start removing retaining walls all the way up, that earth is gonna come down eventually. Which I presume it was doing before they built the wall.
That'd be a dominoes effect.
And that's the
Yeah,
reason why
and,
they built the
and
wall.
if that's where I was back to, the city doesn't have any liability for creating a ditch, if you will, or any other water runoff.
We most certainly could do that, yes.
Because it's gonna go in the garage. It's gonna come in.
Gentlemen?
I mean, they're not there for decoration. They're there for a purpose.
And
Gentlemen?
we fixed the one, we're fixing the one on the east side of the, or west side of the lake with the drainage where the runoff comes down. Putting the curb in there and that kind of thing.
How much is that? That one is, Christie Miller's you're talking?
Yes.
Oh. Probably like 30,000.
So far, there's more to go.
But devil's advocate, snowmobiler comes up there, don't see it, hits it, case law. We have no leg to stand on, and
Well-
the rest of the taxpayers are gonna pay for it.
Okay, so let's say, look at this the first two rocks in. The first two rocks in were traded out for something a little lower profile.
Well,
That still held the bank.
I think lower profile, so it's flatter.
We have no problem removing
Lower,
first two
lower
rocks.
profile, so it's a smooth thing where I think that would be adequate. I don't see any reason.
I think it's unreasonable for a snowmobiler to assume that they could go any further than. all the
Yeah, but
first rock.
snowmobilers aren't reasonable, we all know it. I'm just saying that.
Apparently.
I've seen it in people going in places they shouldn't be going in and bad things happen. I mean, that happens. Lower profile on all these things, I think if we could find a way to do lower profile so it's, smooth to the blade of the plow, and still have so it drains the soil down so you don't have it in there. I think that's the way to go. From a public safety standpoint, I understand people think 30 feet is too long, but if you have the road surface, that's quite a bit of that, and then you have the extra easement. I get it, but, public safety standpoint, can't have things right up on the road, and that's just to protect everybody. And unfortunately, the rest of the taxpayers would be liable too. So if we can get the lower profile, figure out something like that, I think that's a way to work it. I don't know the answer to that one.
We have said, if you look at your other picture, like where your mailbox is, down the posts and things like that,
Yep.
whatever, I mean, the rocks and the things that are there, I mean, if, I don't see any troubles with that, hence that wasn't necessarily called out in the letter either. You know what I mean? But when we have large impediments like those rocks, that's when we get into it.
Big rocks aren't gonna move.
Yes. And when we think about what that is, I mean, everything is very tight, very short. This is a kind of a cramped area. And we, as the road authority, we need all the room we can possibly get for snow storage. We get a good snow and a whole good winter's worth of snow that, we would use, or we would need a lot of this.
Do you think you could lower those two rocks to get about 6 inches?
Sure.
And then maybe before winter, just take a few 2x6s, go around, and then Jake.
Well, speaking of snow removal, there's nothing on the north side of that road, right through there.
The path of least resistance for a snowmobile would be on the opposite side.
Well, right, but I'm saying he was talking about snow removal. I don't think they're gonna try or snow storage. I don't think they're gonna put it in my driveway. They're probably gonna put it on the north
We
side.
have to go both ways on the road, hence some is gonna come
Right,
side of the houses no matter what we do,
right.
no matter how we try and play.
So you've been there 3 years.
Yes,
How long has the other neighbor's been there?
over, I was gonna say over 20.
We've been here for 25.
That's been there like that for,
About 15, because we flood out there. It comes all the way down the hill, 7 houses down, the water comes down and floods them.
Mayor, I'm with Mr. Holm on this one.
So how far back?
Well, I think that I would like to just see him lower to go down to about close as he can get to a 6-inch reveal. Either he removes the end one or he gets it sunk down, so it's just, so you still got the nice cohesive wall there. I'm not asking you to take this out and then, oh, here, put this, and then don't, whatever.
Go to smaller
But
rocks.
I think if it's small enough, that it reduces the, you know, the head on, you know, the coming to a stop. It's gonna be like.
You're talking the first rock or the second two
The
rocks?
first
three?
two, the first two. That third one's so far out of the realm.
So then, once we get up above that
Any
here,
closer,
now
they
we
could
get
just-
into the neighbor's retaining wall there, because we're gonna have this, I believe, next, probably.
Can't they just curve it in?
So let's think about that. Can we remove 3 of those patio stones there, or retaining wall blocks?
Well, I don't know, I'll have to ask that homeowner if he thinks it's possible to.
Well, we're looking at one picture with both things in.
If it's possible to lower the profile a little bit. You know, possibly take the end stone out and sink the soldier down a little bit lower.
Well, Bob, then from a legal standpoint, if we did that and they lowered that, and we have to wait for the next one. But if they lowered that, then in your opinion, we still need an encroachment agreement.
That would be ideal, because I still can't say that somebody, if they hit it, wouldn't sue you. What the encroachment agreement would do would be for the property owners to request the city, we recognize this is your public right-of-way, we want to keep the obstruction, you know, in the road right-of-way, and the obstruction in this case would be the big decorative rocks. And basically, it would be they would agree to indemnify and defend the city. They'd also agree if we ever needed the right-of-way for a road improvement project, that we had the ability to tell them they needed to move those rocks, and they would agree to do so at their expense. So, and
How about
usually
we
that
just
also.
vacate some of the right of way that's beyond necessity for the city.
My question is, we got a lot of head walls. And this, I mean, this is a small portion of this. And, I mean, we don't got the resources to go around looking at all these head walls. You know, we try to educate the new homeowners about building.
This was a complaint-driven start
What?
of this process. We're not out there looking.
Yeah, I
We shouldn't be
know.
out there looking for them, but this was a complaint from citizens started this process. Wasn't anything we started.
I understand, but my concern is people live out there, they know the area. Dominoes effect, flooding. I get the road right of way issue, but
So you're not in favor of the encroachment agreement?
I'm saying,
I think I don't, you're asking them to indemnify the city, that's a big thing for a homeowner to chew on there.
I mean, some of
It
these,
is, I mean, it's
Well,
if there's a lawsuit, I mean,
some of these been here for
Make money
60
there.
years. Like
At the last meeting, we went through all of these, we looked at them,
I believe I wasn't here at the meeting yet.
and now you're back and doing
I
something.
wasn't at the meeting.
If you would please come to meetings like you should, then you could
That's
have
right,
had your
because I
say
was
at
at
that
work,
point.
I could not get off any earlier.
Just saying, Mr. Holm, don't go down that road. And these were unanimous before. Why are they not unanimous now? Now, I'm just saying, okay, if we want to work with the people, and that's what you guys have changed your mind into wanting to do, you know what I mean? I am not for vacating any easement at this point. That's
Suggestion
a
of.
whole different, yeah, well.
Well, it's.
Anyway, and so now here, if you're willing to dig these in and sign an encroachment agreement, basically saying you will hold the city harmless, you will hold the city and the rest of the taxpayers harmless, whatever, having this here, you know what I mean? That's something we could entertain. First of all, the big rocks, whatever, those are a problem. So if you can bury those just a little bit and you're willing to entertain an encroachment agreement. I think we have another one where there was a garage. We've had in situations before where somebody wants to build a house or remodel or do whatever, and we've allowed variances for that corner of the garage to continue to exist where it is, quote, out in the road right away. right? Now, moving a garage, moving a house, doing these kind of things, whatever, that's a hardship, right? And so, and we allowed that, and we did that through encroachment agreement. So basically, if we ever do need to get in here to do anything, whatever, we have to dig this up, whether it's drainage or utilities or something like that, whatever, you have an understanding that, you know, whatever happens to these will be at your cost, right? You know, and if for some reason that some infrastructure in the future comes through with sewer, water, I don't know what, I'm not trying to swear at you, but if something like that does happen, you know what I mean? Then ultimately, and we need to remove those, you have an understanding. And for me, one of the really the biggest ones, whatever, is to let you know that I don't think your homeowner's insurance would allow this. I don't know what the change would be with an encroachment agreement. If that would make it worse, if that would make it better, or what. So I don't know, you know, the homeowner's side of that part of it.
They're also not gonna cover your right of way in my garage either.
Correct. Your insurance,
Right.
correct. Right, and so.
Being if we start removing those and that hill comes in, it's coming in.
Well, and so, and if there's a way to work around it, which I believe there would be, you know what I mean? So if 3 of these blocks were removed, the retaining wall blocks, I don't think you're gonna, ultimately, I don't think that would start a waterfall there.
Does.
And so, and I don't understand how it can because of the topo of the, what I'm seeing here in the pictures. But the pictures don't show me.
You haven't been down there, you haven't seen it. We're at the bottom of the hill, and when he's at the bottom of the dip, we're at the edge of the dip. That whole area right there, once it starts coming down the hill, it floods into his garage and the neighbor's house on the other side of him. That's why that whole,
Okay, so, well, okay, if we lowered the 2 big rocks like Mr. Holman talked about, that helps, you don't have any washouts at that point in time, right? I mean, that's not gonna cause.
I
what
wouldn't
we're
think
afraid
so.
of. All right, so if we did that, and then we could say because of drainage issues, Bob, you know what I mean, this is something that we can see that needs to, right?
You have that right.
Well, and I'm saying we could do that, and that would help then protect you, hopefully, and us, right, if we did that. Through that encroachment agreement to make that happen. Right, you're giving a little bit, you're doing something with the rocks, whatever, we're gonna talk about you, you'll be next, whatever, and the same thing with the encroachment agreement. Things will be to stay there, maybe if we can try removing to 1, but let's see what happens. We can write this up as I think this would be an agreement.
Would.
This would not be separate.
This would be for each property owner.
Okay, so let's think about doing that then, shall we? You know what I mean? And so if you would do that, lower that rock, and then we'll have Bob start working on an encroachment agreement here, and then we will talk again and get that signed and in place.
Okay,
Make it work.
okay.
Older retaining wall.
Yes, they're not decorative rocks.
Just to make sure I'm clear, you're talking about sinking the first 2 rocks to approximately a 6-inch depth,
6-inch reveal,
6-inch reveal?
yeah, okay, right here.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you, thanks for coming in. Let's see here, next is going to be Jay Anderson. Jay Anderson.
Jay Anderson,
These might, excuse me.
go ahead.
These might not take shape the way we have the pictures and all this, but this is the way that they came in. So, Mr. Anderson.
My name is Jay Anderson, and I live at 14061 290th Avenue. As I can see, a lot of my neighbors are here, and we all have the same concerns about erosion. I think that's the primary thing with my place. If you look at my place, I don't have a picture, but you probably have one. There's a power pole right in front of my head wall. Now, if a snowmobiler comes by, he's gonna take that before that retaining wall. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, do you have the picture of?
I do. Is this one?
Yes.
I think we all have this.
You don't have it?
Be in something.
Second page of this.
I don't disagree, and actually, when we, for the snowmobiler and that kind of a thing, but when we looked at this one, we were thinking more of the plow and the trouble with the plow. So this is drainage as well?
That's exactly where I park, and that head wall is keeping like everybody else stuff away from my septic and my house. So to retain that for me means keeping soil out of my septic and my house at the same time. And all of that, it's protecting, anything with erosion.
And again, when we talked about this one a couple of weeks ago, this was for plow concerns.
Once again, the power pole's right there.
Yep, no, and again, too, this snow storage and the whole thing snowballs. The reason why we asked you to do this. What are the wishes of the council?
Well, it doesn't appear that with the mailboxes there, that the plow is gonna get the blade any closer in that situation there.
If it does, then we're gonna wind up with damage to the plow.
How many mailboxes we hit last year? 15? I think,
Mr. Mayor, I just have a suggestion here. With this road being like this, we already had Hawkinson Anderson, our engineer, go out there and survey, I believe, lots.
Yes.
Why don't we, in my opinion is, we have a road workshop on the 20th. Why don't we talk to them and see what can be done about this drainage? Common theme. What can be, that's just my 2 cents.
I don't know if they did, I know they did the
What can be done on the road?
edge of the easement, whatever. I don't know that if they did any,
Most efficient thing that's been done, what the property owners figured out. over
how many
the last 20
block
years.
high, how high is that block?
Approximately about
Looks like a
2-3 layers,
Yeah, so
according to your stake.
if you went down to a single layer that's above,
It would be like 6-inch reveal.
yeah. I think that with the encroachment agreement would be adequate if you went down to the one layer.
and that should still protect you from the drainage, correct?
It should. I'm not an excavator on this one, but
You would be willing to do that as well?
I'm willing to work with you.
Bob, you?
Yep, I got it. Down to one layer of thing.
Now, is that according to where the setback is?
And I think, I'll be honest with you, up to the power pole.
Up to the power pole?
Up to the power pole. The power pole is into the road, right, into the easement, if you will. If we're looking at here, you can see where the stake is.
May I approach?
A little bit, yes. It's in a little bit farther than that, whatever, but I think that with the power pole, because that is there, that is gonna establish what we.
So you're just
absolutely
talking
need
about
to
the
be.
section right
Yep.
here, right?
Yep, here. Sweet. When I looked at that, that's what I was looking for.
So down to
Power
the,
pole.
down to one layer to the power pole and an encroachment agreement.
Yep.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is Sharon Shedbauer and Maurice Borkhardt.
I'm Sherilyn Shettlepower. This is Maury Borkart. We live at 13921 290th Avenue Northwest.
Welcome. And so you have the shed and the blocks.
Yes, but I have some, I'm going to read what I'm giving you guys here.
Okay.
And I'll start right now and you guys can catch up as you read. First, I'd like to say that sending a City of Baldwin letter followed up with a letter from your lawyer a week later, threatening me with misdemeanor charges is not particularly working with me. I think it's very poor on your behalf. Knocking on my door and talking with me about your situation and finding out my story would have been working with me. Second, again, talking about my property and making decisions on August 18th at your council meeting without my knowledge about the meeting or being allowed to, without my input, again, is disrespectful and wrong. Now, since you threatened me with legal actions, instead of discussing the situation, I have to defend myself. I don't think anyone that received this letter feels like you wanted to work with us. When I moved into my cabin over 20 years ago, actually I found out it was 26 years ago, I had it approved by Sherburne County in placement of my utility shed since I have no other place on my small property to put it. The only caveat that was given to me from the county was because of impervious surfaces that were at their limit and I needed to remove my cement walkway on the east side of my home, which I did. And I have a picture of that. My property size has not increased. I still have no other place to put my shed. Moving it back a little, like what stated in the August 18th meeting that you had, moves the shed on top of my septic drain field. And there's a picture of that. All of that grass right there in front is all the drain field. The driveway rocks, blocks, and stones located throughout my property, and especially at the end of the driveway, were put there to stop the water that floods out my neighbors to the west. They happen to be one of the lowest spots on the north end of the lake, and if any of the rocks or retaining walls are removed, their garage will flood. We tested this when we put those retaining wall blocks in, and we found that if I removed any of them, the water still went into their garage. As far as a road hazard is concerned, and your reason for addressing this as a problem, any vehicle veering off the road, which the speed limit is only 30 miles an hour, I know of no issues in the last 20 years. They would hit either the two vehicles in my driveway, because my driveway is so short, or they would hit my neighbor's truck, which is parked next to those stones that they have there. They're not going to hit the rocks or the retaining wall. They're going to hit a vehicle. My final response to this is, have you gone around the entire lake with these threats, or for that matter, the entire city of Baldwin? Why is the north end of the Little Elk Lake being singled out? And how many properties are in the city of Baldwin? And how many homes have you addressed this with?
I guess our response would be, and Mr. Case had said that earlier, this was complaint driven, there was a complaint. So we looked at that and we went around the entire area, your area. Are we on a witch hunt across the city? No, we're not. This is a complaint driven thing. We don't have, Mr. Rush alluded to that as well. We don't necessarily have it in the budget, whatever, to go around the entire city and look at everything. And so we don't know, and to this point, up to that point, we didn't know necessarily about your issues, these issues either. And now we're trying to address them. So, that's the way it is. We're not picking on anybody because we're looking to try and pick on people. You know what I mean? We're picking on, if at anything comes out of this, at the least comes out of this, it's an education, right? You know, for the road right away, where it is, what needs to be there. If we have issues, you saw we can address them. I think we can address these as well. I mean, if there really are drainage issues. Could we have called a meeting and said, everybody come in, let's talk about this? Yes, we most certainly.
Sending a legal letter
That in the future,
threatening?
well, the letter, if you will, whatnot, that's, I'm gonna call it standard procedure, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean? That's it. And now you guys are here, happy, upset, whatever, but you guys are here and we're having this discussion. At least we're all trying to figure out what we want, what needs to happen, and the ramifications of all of this, because the whole bottom line is public safety has to be first and foremost for us. I said that earlier. I will keep beating that drum until I'm no longer. You know what I mean? The other part of that too is for our safety equipment, emergency services, whatever, being able to get in. You know what I mean? When we look at where things are sticking out, quote, into the road right away, you know what I mean? That could be a hindrance to where our emergency vehicles need to go as well. Especially in the winter, when we have ditches full of snow. Yes, Mr. Hall.
First off, I'm sorry that tone comes across in those letters and how.
And it made all of us feel that way.
I am hearing you.
On Labor Day weekend.
Blood pressure, right? You read that, see red. Okay, your shed to me looks like a non-issue. It's barely a foot encroachment. The next place to the east isn't in the right of way, but it's right up to it, the yellow. Is there cars there? So I just wanna say, I'm not worried about the shed. The shed shouldn't be a focus right here. But I gotta ask you a question though. The retaining wall out by the end of the driveway, is that right on the line?
It is right.
It's right on the
Right
line.
on the line.
Yeah,
And we
Berkeley,
could,
you're still here, right?
Yep.
yep.
Do you think that maybe there would be possible to, I don't know so much about maybe if you could lower it a little and then maybe build up on the Berkeley side of it to make that shorter reveal?
Yeah,
And keep the.
But you just had him lower it. You're not having him build it up.
Stone, that doesn't mean he's lowering the,
The stone.
he's not
slope.
lowering the grade, he's just put, the two stones on the end, did you look at, well, you know, they're stick up quite a bit higher than the rest of them. And so I'm thinking that there's a little play he has there to keep that integrity of that wall, only just reducing the reveal as you're coming towards it when you're traveling east. And what I'm trying to figure out here is, after they jump over his 6-inch thing with, that nice little ramp, winter ramp he's gonna put in front of there, is if we could just lower your 3.5 stones down just a little bit and then add some material on Berkeley's side to just make it less of a, because it's a, you know, is that?
I can work with the wall. My biggest problem right now is the shed.
I just told you, I just dismissed it. I will vote to take the shed out of this picture.
I can work
Okay.
with, we can work with the wall. I can work with Heather and Berkeley.
I think the two of you could
To come up with,
just get the reveal, so it's just a little less of a,
we're good with that.
yeah.
Yeah, as far as.
And I don't expect you to spend the money to get a variance on the shed. You've already went through the process with the county when
I
you
did.
got it put in there to begin
did.
with.
He actually came out and
So, I'm not making you go through that twice. I will vote. I'm sure I can find other votes here to just take. I make a motion that we don't make an issue about the shed. Is there a second to that?
I beat you.
Second and third, all righty. I have a motion
Thank
on the
you.
table to disregard the encroachment of the shed, correct?
Yeah, because we're barely talking about a foot there. It's so far out of the picture. I don't see why someone's gonna, again, yeah, the right of way is there, but nobody's got any business being that far into their property.
But if we ever need, I have a motion in the second, any further discussion?
I bet you if you knock on the door and talk to them first, they'll probably have a discussion. But there's still a hardship on the fact that, or drain field is just to the south of there.
If I'm not looking at them moving a shed, but I don't see the problem with doing an encroachment agreement. I mean, that's simple, that's a simple fix.
Well, that might still be part of the retaining wall too.
And both
Yeah,
of them.
let's
I just wanna my motion was that we're not asking them to move the shed.
Yeah.
That is what all it
And
was.
I agree with, that.
second, third
The problem is if there's any future whatever, and
It just needs to be in writing that if it does need to move for some reason, because we're doing something or whatever comes through, we don't know what it's gonna, future's gonna hold, right? That everybody understands this.
we're not looking at anything happening there, but I think an encroachment agreement is a simple fix with this.
Yes.
Okay.
And would you guys be open to the encroachment agreement? I mean, that's a simple fix versus us making a final action.
And that is also, and as Mr. Holm had talked about with the retaining wall blocks, if you guys can work together to,
we'll try and come up with something. I just know that if we take it out, we have a problem with.
Not asking you to take it out, I'm
Right,
asking you to
it's to move it and we can work with Berkeley.
massage a little.
Our neighbors.
smoother.
We like our neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Yes, we can work with them on trying to figure that one out.
Yes.
So I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
I understand you want a lowered retaining wall.
Lower
Is there
profile.
a,
Forward and just add a little material on the westerly
is there
side.
a certain amount of reveal? Usually,
Aiming for that 6-inch reveal.
We can work with that.
At the end by the,
And then
by the road.
The last three
That's the
blocks I
next
can see. Same amount of distance that the Rogers are making an adjustment. Right in that same plane, just hit
Yeah, okay, we can work with that.
All right.
it with some speed and it'll just skip right across the top.
Motion and a second
He'll
to
Yeah,
skip
those-
right across it, right into my shed.
allow the shed to stay there with an encroachment agreement.
That would be a friendly. You can do the encroachment agreement on when you do the instruction with the stone and all that. Unless you want to make it all, I take a friendly that you're okay with the encroachment agreement on the shed?
They said so, yes.
Okay. So I'll amend my motion to, the shed does not need to be moved. They're going to take the end 3 blocks and try to get that to a 6-inch reveal, and they'll do an encroachment agreement with the city. Accept that?
Regarding the shed and the encroachment.
Accept that as a friendly amendment. All righty, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Excellent. Thank you for coming in. And all of you understand, please, at least from me, the mayor, this is not about, we're trying to get ugly with everybody. You know what I mean? It's just, we have to send something out and, okay, can we do it better next time? Absolutely. We'll try.
Please do.
Please do. Just
Please
knock
do.
on the door.
Mr. Mayor, I just, we sent out 2 letters and 2 letters shouldn't have been sent out. I think 1 letter would have been
Yes,
sufficient.
the second letter that came out, the first one was the only one that you were supposed to have gotten. The second one was, after we had talked to you, if it was necessary. So it was never our intention. We found this out, this was a clerical error or whatever, that, both of them, our attorney sent it out and our clerk sent it out as well. So,
Read the attorney letter. It's not nice. It's not working with us whatsoever.
it is very much, this is what we need to do, and it'll be to the point and matter of fact.
But don't threaten me. Talk to me.
Agree, Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
You feel like we probably should have had a forum before this concerning the people instead of sending out the second letter?
Well, the second letter shouldn't have been sent
Second letter
out.
never should have been, the one from our
I never
attorney
received
at this point in time should never have been sent out. Right, so that's our problem, that's our mistake, and again, we'll apologize for that again.
How this all came about, we got some complaints about it. And,
What was the complaint specifically?
well, it's about the head walls here, and, it was
That's
this,
not specific. What was the complaint?
that was in the encroachment of the road right away. So the thing is it came to, a 3-2 vote to have our engineer go out there and survey the 23 properties. At the last meeting, there was, I think, 20 or something, of the pictures, but they were black and white. And we went through them, and that's how you guys got the letters, so.
Citywide. It should be citywide. You should not just cherry pick one area.
Understand, it's the citizen gave us a
If you're
complaint.
going to apply this in one small area, you have the public safety.
Okay, hang on.
So I understand, it is a citywide, it is a citywide thing right now. But the citywide is, if somebody, a citizen complains about it, then we check that
I
area.
formally complained about the encroachments citywide.
Well, you've gotta give us a
I'll send you an
specific,
email.
you gotta give us a specific spot. You're just,
I'll drop it on.
so how much tax money do you wanna spend?
I got a whole team. We'll drop it
Hang on.
Citywide.
I'm gonna call this to order. We can't go off on a tangent like that. Again, like I said, we had several, others over the years, in fact, whatever, where we have addressed. And you'll notice when we addressed those in other areas, we didn't necessarily come to your area either. When we got the complaint, it was decided, well, if there's a whole bunch of them or whatever that is, we surveyed the area and this is what we found. All of these encroachments are out there. There they are in your whole area. I don't know that we want to pay the kind of tax revenue we'd have to pay to hire surveyors and engineers and whatever to go across the entire city, you know what I mean, to look at everything. But when these are brought to our attention, we'll address them. And that's how this is. That's how we got to where we are now, and this is why this is happening. Okay, next one is Jim Reed, 1402. All right, Mr. Reed, if you would, please step up to the podium station.
Yeah, so I'm Jim Reed. I live at 14029, 290th. Been on Elk Lake for about 3 years. So a lot of what I wanted to say here has already been discussed, so I'll keep this pretty short and succinct. First off, a lot of talk today about what is the distance, and I walked the block today with a tape measure and a notepad, and I didn't measure to the middle of the street. I think that's maybe how you folks measure, but I measured the markers you put out to the edge of the road, and it measured from 5 feet on properties to 22 feet. And I didn't cover everyone, but 5 to 22. So I've owned a lot of properties over the year. I continue to own several properties. This just kind of blows me away. And I know there's I know that happens, but how could you even plan on anything when you look down the road and the markers? Anyway, that's just a comment. I don't expect it to be settled, okay? We were told we've got to get rid of a retaining wall next to the driveway. I think we're going to work to do that, but we may look at some kind of encroachment agreement. That retaining wall, it's right near a power pole with buried lines and a transformer on the power pole. And there's also a phone box very near. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do there. Because if I just remove the wall, we are going to have runoff problems, and we're going to run off to a point where I think at some point we'd expose whatever's hooked up to that, the power pole. So I'm not here to fight it. I'll work with, the group, and if we can do an encroachment, great. But I'm not here to fight back on that.
Okay, as Mr. Holm has said earlier times, is there a way to reduce that? I don't have that picture in front of me.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Well, and honestly, if I take it out,
Really, it's in a distance.
if I take it out and a car crosses, they'll just hit the power pole. If I leave it there, they're gonna hit my wall before they go into the power pole. And if they come from the other way, they'll go right into the power pole.
Because now I would think that it would be the fence, but you're,
It's really hard to see.
Yeah, it's almost impossible.
You can't see it, yeah. And I should have I should have had some pictures made for this meeting. My apologies, yeah.
if.
Well, that power pole is pretty far back from the edge of the road there.
Well, if this.
It is.
If the road isn't centered like this gentleman basically states.
It's darn near off of the plat when you go past his place around the corner. When you're talking 22 feet, it's like the whole road is north of the actual platted road.
Mr. Mayor, I would just say, work on an encroachment agreement.
If you can lower it as much as possible.
Yeah, I think I can lower it some, but I think just getting rid of it, we're
Holmes said we
asking
don't care
for
about
issues.
6-inch
Yeah.
reveals, whatever, so that must be what's okay. And then an encroachment agreement as well. Covers you, covers us.
I'm open to it, sure.
Everybody's happy.
I hit a bunker when I was about 8 years old on a sprint fire on the golf course at Breezy, and it's got a big lip there, and I went up it, and I fell off the back of the snowmobile, but we went over it just fine. I think a 6-inch low reveal will be all right.
So does this make sense then, Bob, on this one?
Yeah, I think I just don't, this one's tough because it's too far.
Well, if I may, I can take more pictures and email them in, and we can begin the discussions, because I haven't taken it that far as to exactly what I do.
So he's just, same thing, I see that, but he's gonna
So
remove.
he's gonna remove as much of that to get to a 6-inch reveal.
Does that deal with the fence too?
Yeah, it is.
So that's part of that too.
Because I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the fence, so that.
The fence starts right at the
pole
marker. Yeah, at the pole, yep. So that's what I had. And then I guess, and I know we're going to sound like broken records, but we were so taken aback by what we received. You know, our first engagement with the city of Baldwin, I think that letter was just very poorly written. And then the follow-up letter from, is it Curry and Rupp?
Yeah, Rupee.
Rupee. I was kind of offended when in that letter, they told me about the retaining wall that I put in place. We didn't put a retaining wall in place, we bought a house. And then lastly, in the certified letter, so we got 2 letters from Curry and Rupee. In the certified letter, it says, the city prefers to work cooperatively with its residents rather than seeking court intervention. And I just want to say that it's a joke. This was the exact opposite of cooperating. Cooperating is when people work together, and this was jammed down our throats. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
That? No,
No, the fence, you guys determined at the last meeting was not an issue.
it was a retaining wall. Okay. Ready, Joan, are there any others? That was 4, we had 4. There's 3 on the agenda, we added another one. Is there anybody else who wants to speak in public forum that signed up?
I thought I was on the list, but, because I emailed you, but I don't think it ever made. But I'm not on the north side, so have a break.
What's your name?
Carol Sarton. I called about 288th Avenue. Yeah, and then you sent me an email and I sent back the request.
Was it who you?
I have her name.
Caleb?
Yeah. Sent me an email and then I sent back the information.
Great, well, why don't we just have her go ahead and, she's here, she's been waiting.
Lovely, thank you. Sorry. Hi, my name's Carol Sarton. I live at 14243 288th Avenue. For some reason, our road has not been taken care of in years. Nobody plows our road. We're the road that goes off from Ridgewood Bay. And thank God we have great neighbors that plow it, but I mean, I just don't understand. We have, like, you talk about public safety, you ought to see our road, and we have several elderly people that live on there. It is just big ruts and holes, but I don't understand why it's not taken care of.
280th?
288th, it's the road that when you go into Ridgewood Bay, we're to the left. Yeah.
So going up to the north.
What?
You go-
Yeah, no, it is not a private road. That's because we have one little lady who thinks she's private, but they don't even live there. They've never even stayed a day in this cabin.
Well, we'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
Because to date, I mean, I think we have considered that to be a private road.
Well, that's
Which is
just,
exactly why we're not going up there.
yeah,
So,
could be. I don't know why. Then do we still have to pay the road taxes and everything if we don't have anything from the city? Because we pay the same taxes,
well, yeah,
Yeah.
and definitely we all do. No,
and I understand that, but
the private road would mean that, because we have 2 of those actually around Elk Lake, 2 others, whatever, one on the east side. And that the people actually are tasked with all of the maintenance of that road themselves.
But why would that, I mean, how do you define a private road? I mean, I guess maybe you're gonna educate me, because
I can probably.
we all live on this road,
Sure, a private road is one that was never dedicated to the public.
but it's got a number.
Your house was platted. A lot of these, Elk Point was the name we've all been using. That's a plat. So somebody laid it out in lot and blocks, and under state law, when you do that, when you plat it, you also have to dedicate the road right away. However, I guess you're supposed to lay out the roads. And in that plat, in the language of it, you either say, we hereby dedicate to the public the road right of way and the drainage and utilities, or you keep it private. You don't dedicate it. And it happens a lot of times where people, for whatever reason, determine they don't want this to be a public road. We want to make this sort of a little private little area, and the roads are not public. So in order for us to maintain it, we would have to look back at the historic records and see what was the plat here? What was the records? because there isn't a record of maintenance. The other way that historically towns and cities get road right-of-way is by what they call use and maintenance. The state law says if we have maintained it for 6 years and the public has used it, then to the extent of that road right-of-way use and maintenance, we have a road. And so we'd have to go back and look at your records for that and try and figure out what happened here. My guess is, and it's just a guess, is that if we look back in the records, we're going to find that the road was never dedicated to the public by an easement or by a plat or anything like that. So therefore, it's private road. That's the definition of private.
But it's 288th all the way, from the end all the way to Ridgewood Bay and all the way in. So how does it get a road number if it's private? And
That's done by the county and stuff. So there's a lot of things that we don't have control. There's a lot of private roads, cartways, things that are like a glorified driveway. And they've still been assigned for emergency service personnel by the county and stuff, a name, but addresses, but they don't have legal effect where we have road easement that we can go on other than trespassing on somebody else's property.
Okay.
We do have a few plats and several private roads in Baldwin. There's a whole plat, Wind River Estates off 116th between 38 and 2. It's all private. And my guess is gonna be that Eldon Johnson probably didn't wanna build it to the standard that the township or the county were asking at the time, the township was asking at the time. And he just went about his own business and, now they've got a HOA that pays to plow that thing and do maintenance, and they've come to us about
I don't think we have enough
right-of-way
houses for an
concerns, and it's like, we don't have any say in that with some drainage easements.
Well, if you could look into it, I would appreciate it, because it really is a hazard. And with the elderly that live on that road, I'm not elderly, so don't look at me like that. But the elderly that live on that, I'm just kidding. The elderly that live on there, I mean, if they go in these ruts, I'm not kidding you, their cars are gonna bottom out. I mean, it's really bad. And I would think, just because one lady thought she was private is, from what I know, that's all I know about it. But we have new neighbors now, and they're all asking the same thing, like, why isn't this road fixed? And so I'd appreciate it if you'd look.
All right, we will look into it. And
Thank
let know.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you. All righty, with that, then I will close the public comment portion of the meeting, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
There's a second.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. All right, planning items, discuss, approve, disapprove resolution 2522, Meadows of Baldwin preliminary plat. Bob, you had some things.
Yes.
Because we have this here from Dan Licht, our planner. And then we also had Mr. Rupie that took a look at it because it came in the agenda packet. And there was several additional criteria added to it. This has been discussed with Dan, and Dan was okay with adding those to this. And I discussed this with Bob, and these additional amendment, there was 12 conditions, if you will, under the planning report. The Planning Commission looked at this, revised it, and there was some extensive discussion on all of it, and recommended to approve with 12 conditions. Mr. Rupie has looked at that and said that there should be roughly, I think these are all yours, 17 more conditions added. These conditions also are something, and I'll let Bob elaborate on this, these are also conditions that probably should be a part for record keeping, bookkeeping, and just keeping things clean to everyone moving forward. Every one of our developer agreements or the preliminary plats approvals moving forward. Mr. Rupie, please expand.
Yes, when you do preliminary plat, that's where you quote, get your sort of bucket of rights. And what I am attempting to do here, when I looked at Dan's resolution to approve preliminary plat and I saw his conditions, they didn't address a lot of the things that normally I would want to spell out. I want to make it very clear to the applicant that these are the requirements that moving forward, one, there may be changes to your lot lines, easements, and so forth. Two, you do have to enter into a developer's agreement with us. You do have to provide us with the appropriate security. I'm trying to just be more open and upfront with the applicant about what the expectations are moving forward. These are typically things that when I'm drafting them for my other municipal clients, cities and towns, I put in. I didn't see them in this one. I am recommending, this kind of goes, Tom, to one of the things where Jay asked me, could this be something that is used as sort of a template moving forward? And I say yes. You know, this is generic enough, it's not, and it can be tailored to each specific, if something here doesn't apply for whatever reason, we could just strike it. But I do think these are things that you do need to have in this developer's preliminary plat approval.
Going forward for everybody.
I think this is going forward for everybody. I thought Dan would be here, but I didn't realize he was in Germany. But I was going to talk to him about utilizing this moving forward. As the mayor stated, Dan did review this, and as you see in the email he sent back, he's agreed with it, and that this motion, if you approve the preliminary plat, would be a motion to approve it contingent on these conditions being added into the resolution of approval.
Mr. Mayor? Yes. I'll make a motion to approve it with these, right, extra,
The inclusion of these.
the inclusion of these, items to the, resolution.
There's a second.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Just real quick, Mr. Mayor. Yes. Driveways. Driveway permits. I'll make sure we address that, you know, with this one for, you know, like when they break ground on the house that the culvert's put in, they put that rock down, class 5, and then the driveway's tarred, whether it's completely tarred or 33 feet.
And this is for the approval of the preliminary plat.
Okay.
The final plat is when all of those things.
This one call, because it just calls, I like to work with them, but it's just a lot of township staff, my time and stuff.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
What's that?
Have these been sent to the developer?
No, these came in tonight. This is nothing, I don't think that's going to change the crux of what it's happening. Most things were developers agreement and all of those types of things happen anyway. That is just establishing the procedure for all of that. So, and the fact that we actually did have our planner take a look at this, these are necessary but benign enough, they're not going to change the crux of the preliminary plat.
That was already approved by the planning commission.
That was, but not by us. That has to be approved by us. Okay, is there any question? We have a motion and a second to approve this with the addition of these. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Then we also have
Be forwarded then to,
code enforcements. Yes, this will be forwarded to the developer as well.
Chris, you're the engineer for the?
Yeah, I'm the engineer on it, that Josh can't be.
Okay. Forward that to, you got Chris's email.
You can have these.
Yeah, Harry, want a paper copy of it?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones, you can have these if you want.
Yeah, if you can have it.
Can also email you.
Yeah, we'll email them as well to everybody. Okay, now discussing code enforcements. All of these are prepared and attached code enforcement cases files for review by the city council at the meeting at September 8th. These are all of those. Authorization to send step 1 contact letters to 31310 125th Street, 9746 300th Avenue, and 10216 316th Street. Then we're also going to have authorization to send, I think we can do this all in one swoop, authorization to send administrative notices on 10507 302nd Avenue, authorization to send administrative citations to 3123 127th Street, 9604 285th and a half Avenue, 30107 116th Street, 331 98th and a half Street, and 28209 Lake Diane Road. An authorization for city attorney to initiate code abatement actions on 11511 290th Street, 28331 98th and a half Street. I believe that is it.
Mr. Mayor,
This code of enforcement is summary dated 8th September 2025. Joan, there was one other one that came in. This person was asking to have that as well. It came in as an email and requested that. I believe it was. Yes, no, let's add this onto it too, because
is it? I'd like to.
it was told that this was ready to rock and go the following day. So I would like them to start taking a look at it.
Could I see what it is?
Scott, did you make a motion?
I was gonna make a motion to do these. We wanna do that one separately, and then we can, while he's reading it, we can.
I'd like to add this as part of the code enforcements, but yes, we can.
So what, we've got an issue with parking trucks at a property?
And junk amassing and all kinds
Oh, yeah, I read that. I read
of. The
that
question
one.
is we need to send somebody out, Dan, to take a look and see what's going on.
Yep.
Well, I'm not gonna support going after parking trucks on property. We went down this road where Mr. Walker felt he had to get a conditional use permit when we didn't think that he should have had to, but he was concerned with his neighbor continually harassing him about parking his trucks there.
Well, that's a whole separate issue. That's
Well,
not-
but it's added in there, so maybe we could strike the truck parking part from the issue.
Mr. Holm, just because you drive a truck does not mean that we don't have some issues that need to be addressed. Okay? This is a citizen that's asking us to look at this. We're not gonna do anything other than send our enforcement, code enforcement people out, take a look at it and find out what's going on there. That's why I would like to add this to this, now that you're done. Are you done? Is that enough? Is it more, or what do we wanna do? Mr. Case?
Just made my point, that's all I did.
I looked through it. I saw the email today and I looked at it.
And you would agree with adding this to the code enforcement?
I would agree to adding it to the code enforcement because of the other, it wasn't, Mr. Holm, it wasn't strictly the truck parking. There was a multiple of issues there, and let's just investigate. This investigative purposes only. We're not doing
Sure,
anything.
I stated my opinion. I'm not about to go after truck parking.
So we just.
That's fine. All right, is that your motion then? To
That's my
approve
motion.
adding that to this list of code enforcements and establishing their direction? There's a second.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Okay, Park Committee report, Mr. Rush.
Yeah, Al met with the park committee on my behalf because I couldn't make it. This discussion about Mike Brenwall about like bench at firemen's wives are looking into that, maybe at the fire station, future fire station, or Sandy Lake or Goose Lake, something in his honor. Other than that, was there anything else, Al, that you wanted to?
That was kind of the main thing, is putting a bench somewhere.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Mike Wimwell is a dedicated firefighter. I believe any memorial to Mike should be at a fire station, not a public park somewhere else.
Yeah, I talked to him. It was just brought up at the last meeting. Okay. Other than that, the driveways are done. You should have had pictures. Goose Lake and Young Park were done there, and they were restriped free of charge at Young Parks. They look very nice there with that. And I think Fun Fest is September 20th. So other than that, That's pretty much it. We have our next meeting on the September 18th.
Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Quotes for parking lots. Wait a minute, was discuss, approve, disapprove cutting brush at the back of, at Elk Lake on 287th
Yeah.
Avenue.
So this is Scott here, who's has done this in the past and is asking for the free of charge to cut down the city portion of that 1.5 acres there. Done this couple years.
Oh, on Elk Lake, yeah, it's been done several times.
Yeah.
We did it last year.
What are the wishes of the council?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Discuss, approve, disapprove, getting quotes for parking lot poles and lights from electric companies.
Yeah, so with the parking lot being done at Goose Lake expanded, there's gonna be a need, we had to remove one, because that was kind of by the porta potty. And then we're gonna add 2 more since there's additional parking. So I'm just looking for the city council's blessing to go out there and get 2 quotes for electrical out there, whether we can buy our poles. I've talked to, Zach has talked to Brad too, where he got those poles, he originally got those poles. But we're gonna get quotes, so, and I'll bring 2 quotes back next park
Is there a
meeting.
motion to approve getting quotes?
I'll make the motion.
Approve.
No second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
My only request is that any poles that we put out minimize light pollution in that parking lot.
Yeah, we're looking at getting different lights too.
Yeah,
because
but
those
to
ones are kinda
minimize,
out.
minimize light pollution.
Focus down.
Focus down, so it, it just lights that area versus the whole park. So, that's I just wanted to.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else on the park committee, sir? All right, cemetery update.
All's quiet.
All is quiet. Thank you, sir. Tabled items, discuss, approve, disapprove, temporary no parking signs.
I think that's, Jeff, I think that one's yours. I think that was the Rough Rescue.
Rough Start Rescue, yeah, where are we at with that, Mr.?
You've been, you're the main point of contact on
No,
that.
that is dealing with the business owner, but hearing the signs.
That's the roads department right over there.
That was you?
I'm not the roads department. I just made a suggestion that we go with metal signs, not corrugated signs.
I remember at the last meeting, there was discussion if we're gonna have permanent signs and put them on one side of the road, or if we're just gonna have
No.
temporary signs.
Temporary.
So that's where it was left at, but
I think, I know, at the beginning, it was thought to have temporary signs. Then there was a request to just, the thought was to have maintenance people running around putting these up at different things. Worth it. So to put permanent signs in. And there was more discussion that was never brought to fruition, whatever, in establishing where the no parking signs would get put in the commercial area. Do we do that, how that would work? And there was not a desire to hire an engineer, whatever, to go out and tell us where it needed to be. And I can tell you, as one of the property owners in there, if we said we want to park only on the opposite sides of the business to leave that open, I would not be able to necessarily, if the parking was allowed over the back semi-trucks into my loading dock, because I would need the other side. Say, you know what I mean? I need the whole road to back a 53-foot trailer in there, right? So, and if more discussion is needed, let's absolutely have that, but I don't think there is a one size that fits all, you know what I mean, in that commercial development to say parking this side, no backs, versus the other side. I think it would be bouncing around, and I think we'd have such a cluster in there that it would be tough to necessarily enforce. And the only times since 2005, since I've been in that development, the only time there was ever a parking issue was with the relatively new business in there, bringing in bunches and bunches of people to park. So myself, for discussion tonight on this topic, would say, if Mr. Holm picks a sign that we would want to use, no parking this side of the road, whatever, that kind of a thing, and we put them out there temporarily, as we do have something coming up on the 7th. We know that. She has, what we've asked her to do, alerted us that this is gonna happen. This would take care of that issue, and it would only be temporary, because really, there's not a parking issue there.
Mr. Mayor, I think the temporary signs would be adequate and make it work, and let's go down that road.
Somebody got quotes, must have been Gail.
Last meeting.
So I'm in agreement, I heard temporary.
Yeah.
I would, got Jellyfish, which is on our street signs, so both good vendors, so.
My question is, are those the proper signs? Should it be no parking? Because if we put that on the road, that the entire road, or should it say no parking this side of the street?
I think it probably should say this.
I would agree with that too.
This side of the street.
So, if these are definitely the costs of these signs, maybe some upcharge per piece for each of those. Can we have Kayla look at that and see, is there one? And we're gonna meet
For the event.
I don't know how long it takes to get these signs. However, if we need to do that, because we're gonna have to put stands on them, I think we can use the stands. We got $14,000 worth of recuperants on for our temporary stands or whatever that we took from
We don't have any of that in stock at this time. Talking about the A-frame.
Yeah, I thought we got a bunch of those, whatever, for our.
Those have not been secured yet. We were waiting to finish everything as far as the 75 blade signs.
Yeah, because he keeps coming back with other stuff.
Why am I not surprised? Anyway, okay, whole different issue. Well, okay, then let's see what he's gonna do, or they are gonna do, or who is gonna do for a no parking this side of the street. We put that on the side they come driving in on.
Let's get it revised.
We agree?
Yep.
All right, so if we get 3 or 4 of those, or 6 of those, then we can decide what to do and how to put them up. Right, and what I'm trying to get it so that we can find these, we can send it out to everybody, and if they're under $50 a sign, we're probably gonna wind up being special.
Yes.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Other than you're a business owner in that park and you were concerned about the emergency vehicles being able to get through and having it on one side of the street, you made me ownership. I just had an opinion on what kind of sign. That's my hands on it.
I figured you were gonna pick the sign, because you took that duty, actually.
I don't think I got that duty. Not in roads.
Alrighty, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discuss Zimmerman and Princeton Today newspaper insert. Joan. I'll put this on you, because you've been talking with them. We talked about this. This was on there. We decided to look and see. I don't know what the numbers are, if you will.
So I spoke to Steve at Zimmerman and Princeton today, and he stated that all he's asking from us is that he wants us to gather the content, basically letting him know what we want to get out to the community, and he will help with the advertisement and the rating. There is pricing on here, as you guys seen in the past. It depends on what area you want it to go to. You want to go to Princeton, Zimmerman, or just Baldwin? And then there's also stated advertising ad credits too. You want to pass these around again? When I talked to him, I said I had a concern because I don't know that we have a lot of content to fill a monthly newspaper?
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty big
Yeah,
insert.
because the quarterly, we're always looking for stuff. We have to have
And
stuff.
quarterly would be enough for us.
I didn't know, and how much circulation is that?
If we did the whole area, thousands. If we do just Baldwin, I don't know, does he have any kind of an idea of how many papers would go into Baldwin?
There should be on that first sheet.
I think,
That's because, I mean, we got rid of the newsletter.
no, we didn't. It's still on the
We used to
website.
mail it,
Yeah.
but that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
This we
for-
get
for the Baldwin area
advertisement, we
before
get
the
advertisement to offset the cost of the ad,
And
putting
Steve
it
will
in.
work to get the advertisements, correct?
Yeah. So, the people putting the ads in there would offset the costs. The other one didn't have any of that. My concern with just doing Baldwin is that, fire department events, we cover Blue Hill too, so that's kinda my thing. I would want some of the stuff to go to Blue Hill. It's whatever the rest of you wanna do, but that would be my only
Well, there's no hurry.
no hurry, you know.
Somebody decide, or if we want to think about it some more, let's live with it until the next meeting.
I would say let's live.
The next meeting.
Table?
Everybody, I've looked at it, but I think everybody should take a good, serious look at it, especially if we can have people put ads in there that would offset the costs of it to the city.
I'll make a motion to table to the 18th.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. New business, letter A, discuss disapprove quotes for 127th cul-de-sac repair. Mr. Wright.
Yeah, so, at the last meeting, we had, one quote for that, and we got a additional quote. Another contractor. And I know you had something.
Yeah, whichever one that we approve, would need to go to, I don't know about an engineer's approval, whatever, because I don't think we did engineering on this.
No, it's pretty straightforward.
But we would need to go through the contract. I mean, if they are, we would need our engineer, our attorney to look through the contract.
Yeah, I mean, the one quote that we got is,
So are we ready to do these? Okay. So we got one quote from Rum River Contracting for $25,185.50. We got another quote from Erickson Asphalt for $23,725. 25,185, 23.
There's,
What are the wishes of the council?
there was no difference between the quotes and, or,
well, actually, there was, one vendor put 3 inches of asphalt. It was
who did,
He came back and we pointed out, repriced it.
oh, so
It's apples to apples is what it
apples
is.
to
There's 2
apples.
inches
Okay,
there.
I remember seeing something about that. I just wanted to clarify and make sure we had the same.
So they reduced it.
They had 3 inches. Only wanted 2.
What are the wishes of the council?
Well, the lowest, I guess the lowest bid.
Quote, all right. So then I would entertain a motion to approve, if that's where you want to go with it, Erickson Asphalt for $23,725. This would be the one that I would have our attorney look at the contract. Or at least go through this.
That's the one question.
Well, actually, the whole thing. I don't expect you to do it here now, but if it is approved, it would be contingent.
On attorney review and approval.
Return review. So, I mean, that motion, or do you not want to do this project this year?
Well, no, it needs to get done, but if it comes back, what's the consequences there?
Well, if we can't agree on contract terms, whatever, then it's not gonna, that
Then you,
contract's not gonna
if
do
you do not have to go with the lowest quote. Under Minnesota law, you just have to get 2 quotes, and after that, you can go with whoever you wish. If you can't get a contract that's agreeable to you from one person who submitted a quote, you could always go to the next person.
And I think, if the other one was chosen, you know what I mean? I think you have gone through a contract with the other one at this point in time. I don't think that it has happened. Once we have contractors that we understand contracts with, and we're good to go, I don't think we need to do this, but this would be the first time we did this, scope of a project. With Erickson, so doesn't matter whether it's Erickson or who it is, I would.
The other, was that freshly submitted from the other one? Or was that the previous submission forwarded through?
That was a previous submission.
Did they get asked about resubmitting?
Previous
Yeah, they
submission that we went
resubmitted.
out of our way to try and keep numbers from the public, so we can.
Did that party get asked if they wanted to resubmit their numbers? Did they have a chance?
Answer to your question is no, we were not contacted.
It was, we didn't reveal the numbers at the.
I understand, but just asking if they were brought up to them, if they would like to resubmit, they could have resubmitted.
No, it wasn't brought up.
What are the wishes?
Well, I mean, if Erickson's the lowest, I go that bit.
Second? Yeah, I was gonna say, as you work for Erickson, you may want to abstain. It's up to you, but I would.
I'll second it then.
Second, any further discussion?
I'll say that it was obvious at the last meeting that the other bid was above 25,000 because of the whole needed to get quotes. So I think it's unfortunate that the vendor who had previously submitted that we didn't let the number out didn't submit a new bid, because it's gonna be pretty obvious that they were above that, and this new bidder was able to go below that, and that person, so do what you wish, but it just did not turn out very good in my eyes.
Reverberation at the last meeting echoes exactly what you're saying here. I agree that, which is why we get 2 quotes, why we go out for 2 things, and we go out. Everybody gets the same proposal.
Well, I would bet if I were that contractor that submitted that last month, I'd be ticked that it went down the way it did that day. And then I would be ticked that I didn't put a new fresh number in there, and I got beat by my competitor who knows that I was over 25,000 and now he came under 25,000 and I'm still with my old 120. It was a fucking giveaway. He had to beat. Obvious what he had to beat. Something below 25,000. So he kind of did his math and go, oh, here we go. I can do that for 23. What was the number?
I'm not sure how you understand that a $25,000 number got.
Because it was over 25,000 because we couldn't because we were over the 25,000 threshold.
It really doesn't matter, we need 2 quotes.
You only need, where Jeff's coming from, you don't need 2 quotes if we have a good faith belief it's less than 25,000. 0 to 25,000, just open market, just go out and purchase it. 25,000 to 175,000, we have to get 2 quotes.
Which was part of the discussion in that meeting.
I
But if
see.
you'd have watched the video, if you'd have watched the video, you would have known.
I agree, I
see his
actually, I
point.
agree with Jeff that,
No, I
that
don't
was part,
disagree with one
yeah,
bit.
it was part of that.
Well, I'm saying, we're in a bad spot because somebody's gonna be pissed at us, one way or the other.
Well, I'll withdraw my motion. I do agree with them. I think.
But what are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna put, you're gonna,
Well,
you wanna fix this road.
Yep, but I do see your point now.
I'm not saying do nothing, I just say, and the only thing, they're gonna be irritated if you go back to them and say, bid it again, you know?
But it's the right thing to do.
It is.
Or we put it off until next year, and then we give both of them a chance at it, quote, again, at whatever next year's price, at the exact same time.
I would like that one.
Meg, I'll second your motion to postpone this project till next spring and to rebid it in the spring.
Huh?
It's not, the road's already, cul-de-sac's already tore up. I mean, so it's not gonna matter.
So,
Just black gravel now.
Yeah, it's putting 2 inches of asphalt, but I do see, you know, Mr.
then
Holmes' point.
your motion then is to refuse both bids at this point in time. Postpone this project until the 2026 construction year.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries.
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Initially, we were gonna have Mr. Rupee review that contract or whatever. Now we're not,
There is no need to.
there's no need to, but at the same time, they may be a bidder in the future. You wanna wait till then to read it?
Wait until that time.
Okay.
Because we don't know. If they win, absolutely it's gonna happen. If they don't. Okay, let's see here. That was to table that. Discuss, approve, disapprove quotes for 285th Avenue, Mr. Rush.
Yeah, there was, there was a quote to do, asphalt on it, last meeting. And then we got, only one bid for the double chip seal quote there. We had a few of them, one said that they're not interested in the project. And then we got one quote for the, double chip seal. One came in, and then at the previous meeting, it was us, if, you know, that discussion came out about, powering it, that section, have that quote. So I guess my discussion is something needs to get done with Christy Miller's, Christy Miller, sorry, 285th. Yes. So I just want to know if the asphalt is cheaper. Double seal coat, double chip seal coat, excuse me. So
You're saying the asphalt is cheaper?
look at them. These are the three.
Is that asphalting it all the way to the end of the road then?
Goes
I think it
down.
just goes down to the end of the culvert, or,
You were out there, I wasn't. I would ask, I wasn't out there at that time, so I would ask Zach or
Yeah,
Al.
Yes, the asphalt quote, that's the low bid, is just the affected area, approximately 250 feet.
Oh, it's right there. Sorry, didn't see it.
So we have one asphalt quote and one crack seal, chip seal quote, correct? Here we go again.
I personally, if you're gonna asphalt it, might as well asphalt it all the way to the end and be done. you know.
Okay, in my opinion, that would be opening up a can of worms. Because everything needs to be graded accordingly in order to be able to do that. Send trucks out there. Number one, we'll be right back in the same road as we are. Busted up and it doesn't look money, good money after bad.
Okay.
Number two, if this is a temporary fix, really, it's only 600 feet or so of what we need for the triple chip seal, and covers it, makes it just like the rest of the road, if you will, but as a repair in that area. Number three, if we're gonna think about asphalting that or doing, there's a whole lot more investigation we need before we do that. Not only the drainage issues, I sure we need to take a good broad look at the septic issues, all the other things that are happening. Because if we want to think that we want to try and bury some infrastructure, pipes, something like that, whatever. You know what I mean? Right next to or on the road, we'll have to tear up a whole bunch of this asphalt in some way, shape, or form. Project. Myself, you know, even though it would be more, I think it's because it's this late in the season. That we
Yes.
are asking for this, that we only got one very small area to do. So Bob, I don't know what this does to us. If other ones that normally have done these things and given us quotes.
That's not a legal question, that's a engineering policy question. Even different engineers have different opinions on how late into the season you can do the work. In terms of the legal aspect of it, I heard one quote for each type of service. The question I would have is how many people did you attempt to get the quotes from? We got to build the record so that we
We
have.
got two quotes for the double chip seal. One party was not interested, and the other one submitted the bid. Directly to the clerk.
So we only got one, refusal and one quote for the chip seal. We contacted a couple of people. But
Yes, we contacted.
And then we got one quote for.
That was shot from the hip kind of thing.
Asphalt.
And the one quote for the asphalt,
Not been named.
right, and the one quote for the asphalt, I would say we need to get two quotes for the asphalt if that's where you're going.
Yeah.
And then consider it at your next meeting. If you're looking at the double chip seal, I believe you have done, that's why I have to put it in the record, showing you what good faith efforts you've made to try and get the two quotes.
I would do the double chip seal, because I mean, something has to get done on that road. After September 15th, I think the warranty with the binder goes, so. And I do agree, there could be more issues if you do that, pave it, there could be.
So, and this one is the double chip seal, correct?
Yes.
So. Bottom line number of that. So I think we're within our capabilities there as well. What are the wishes of the council?
Are they able to get in there right away and do it then?
Speak to that.
Yes, talking with the vendor that provided the chip seal quote, if we don't have any adverse weather, they should be able to complete it. We'd have to give them notice to proceed tomorrow.
Binder. Factory.
Availability of it, or?
The Flint Hills no longer warranties the chip seal binder after September.
So I'll make a motion to get.
Allied Blacktop.
What was the dollar amount?
Allied Blacktop, triple chip seal. Let's see.
21,000.
Total one is 21,700. Motion? Second?
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? I think,
That approved contingent on attorney review of the contract?
Have you
I think it should be. You've
reviewed
Allied.
I don't know that I have. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
You can have it by tomorrow morning, right? There you go. Take that as a friendly, reviewed by the attorney. Thank you. Alrighty, Al, take that as a friendly. You've seconded it? Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, discuss engineering and attorney fees. Mr. Rush.
Yeah, just real quick, I just want to bring this up. I kind of talked to Bob before the meeting to try to look at a template with Hawkison Anderson and Rupi Corey of like what we can do, templates. I know League of Minnesota's has some attorneys, but like at a road workshop, I think we're gonna hammer out a lot of these. I'm more focusing on the roads areas. Like at that road workshop, I'd like to determine what we can do in-house and what we can do that I understand, like the bigger contracts, the micro surfacing, the crack sealing, bigger purchase of equipment and stuff. It's gonna need the attorney's review, but I'm just trying to look at if we can develop templates for some of the stuff once it's determined at that meeting, to save money, because we have spent, this of last month, the first meeting, we spent $190,000 on Hawkison Anderson Engineering, and we spent $106,000 with Rupi Corey. So I think there's stuff that I'm trying to look at once we have that road workshop meeting on the 23rd. If we can come back with some kind of template, we talked to Bob before the meeting, that we can just, if nothing changes, just go forward with that instead of everything being reviewed, by the attorney.
Can I add some clarification to that?
Yeah.
What Tom and I talked about was the fact that there are some contracts that you're going to use continuously. And for those that Tom said and the city council can identify, we could put a template together for gravel hauling, grading, things like you normally would use, and they're not going to change that much. And I've done that for other clients, and then you guys make changes to it, make it your own, and then it's with the understanding that as long as the contractor is willing to accept your contract and you guys don't make changes to it, then you're ready to sign it because it's already been reviewed. That's what Tom and I talked about. I told him that it would be helpful if he wanted to go down this path to identify certain types of contracts, graveling, grading, things like that, whatever it is, because I can't anticipate what types of contracts you're gonna need.
I think most of this will be hashed out at the.
Agree. So that's just at this point.
Discuss,
discussion.
yep.
Absolutely. Okay, is there any other new business? That ends this. Announcements, Baldwin Fire Department open house is Saturday, September 13th, 2025, from 11 to 3. Budget meeting is Monday, September 15th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Special Planning Commission meeting is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Park Committee meeting is Thursday, September 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Baldwin Fun Fest has been rescheduled. It is Saturday, September 20th, 2025 from 11 to 3. Next Baldwin City Council meeting will be Monday, September 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m. The engineering workshop, as we discussed earlier, is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. Is there any other business?
Just an announcement. I've already spoken with Joan and the mayor. I will not be able to attend your next city council meeting due to a conflict.
Sure. That's it. Other than that, that'll conclude the business of this evening, other than a motion to approve bills.
Tommy's saving you money already. Not showing up the next meeting.
Hang on, I think we're just
See ya.
Joan, is this your only copy? Do you need to keep this?
I'll write myself a note. I'll print myself another one.
You can print it out. I can take this?
These two over. Actually, we'll put that at the bottom. That's that new policy you wanted.
You better give him some so he can keep signing.
Oh, yeah. No, I want to bring it to everybody and let them take a look. So we can put this on the 22nd meeting.
I talked to you.
Oh, that was, okay.
I thought that was funny.
I,
I talked to you on one phone and I called you on the other.
oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so you seen the missed call on the other one and forgot about that.
I would have,
Well, there might have been a little alcohol involved.
Senior moment.
Yeah, senior
come to
moment.
the next meeting.
Your buddy had a fish on the line. It was a short conversation. Not very memorable.
Oh, wow. He was approved to do the inspection. Well, I mean, once, if anybody else has any feedback. Oh, yeah, I would wait till the rest of the city council saw it, if they had any feedback.
How many spaces did we add to the park?
Parking spots?
Yeah.
Zach, how many parking spots did we add at Young Park?
Oh, there's a lot.
I believe it's
20-something?
just short of 40. I'd have to get a final count.
Oh, your little driveway to the shed just lost you about 2-3 parking spots.
Well, he's done the required work.
Huh?
Fun fest back there.
Yeah.
You're talking about the other.
He done the work. He removed it. Should have been made aware that this. Here.
I didn't mean for you to get.
Oh, jeez.
Alex, you gotta be younger than Scott.
The formaldehyde going through your veins.
Well, that's what I got. I shot of that in the morning.
Formaldehyde.
Yeah, preserving my,
Sign this one.
That would be an approved.
Okay, so let's make sure I didn't miss any.
tell you, that day I seen you at the state fair.
These all need, these are fine, right?
Oh my God, I did 14,921 steps.
Oh, it's up. I'll
My
give
buddy
you
Jim
these.
was with me. He's a lot younger than me. I kept saying, do you want to sit down? Do you want to take a break?
Oh, they need.
I did really good till I got home. I went to get out of the pickup and whoa,
A lot of steps in the state.
oh, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was the second one in the gate that morning.
So there's a letter, there's a.
Would have thought you would have went. Oh, good
Yes,
discounts.
Yeah,
There you go.
you don't save nothing. Not down at the fair.
It is it? 59 AM. I. But this one here says you sent something. So I want to make that your.
Jay, or Mr. Mayor, I told this person that she can't just send that email. That is not sufficient. That if she wished to get some sort of relief from the council, she needed to make an appointment go come here, call Joan, get on the agenda, and I was very clear with her several times during that phone conversation that she called me on my cell phone out of the blue. This, one of the property owners in the Elk Point area, the ones with the big masonry lights and stuff, and I said, you're gonna have to, she goes, that's been there for 53 years, we didn't install it, I understand that, but you're the property owner, it's your issue now, and it's gonna cost us $3,000. I said, it's your issue. I said, you need to talk to the council. I can't change the council. And I said, don't rely on, I said, well, we sent an email. I said, no, don't rely on an email. You need to come talk to the council. They chose not to come talk to the council. So I don't have any information other than that for the council.
We had a full house anyways.
Yeah. So at this
They
point,
still have the opportunity to talk to us.
they do, for the deadline.
Also received an email, and I sent it out to you guys, asking, about their, yeah.
Well, it was a prediction. Very sound prediction.
I think that, well, one of them here.
My brother's blowing up my phone.
Right.
According to this.
All I can tell you,
Well,
no,
before I read it, I want you to read it.
Oklahoma beat this week in football. Michigan.
The Gophers.
Yep.
Small school came here.
My
Louisiana, it was from Louisiana.
Western
Yeah,
something.
Northwest State.
But what I said is, oh, yeah. Got you have that. Did he give you more?
Yes.
Should have gave you like 20 to begin with. Is that's, wow. Oh, yeah. I went to the Target. That doctor just looked at me and she said, oh my. I said, yup, just check my record. You've been in here 22 times since 2000 for poison ivy. I said, yes. I just need prednisone again. That's all I need. I'm just highly allergic to this stuff.
I think Joan is highly.
Well, I know, I saw that's what I was referring to. I sent her a picture of what happened to me.
Farmer's Choice, that's.
Yeah, I looked like, my boss said, go home, you look like a Klingon. Cause my head was swollen here and then my arm, I had a rash from here to here and it was like 2 inches thick.
Okay? What this person is
I get you for a
proposing,
minute, that's it.
Oh, you lucky.
what Mr. Moore is proposing is that he says the retaining wall is necessary to support him having a usable access, driveway access. I don't see that up here, but he's saying, consider my property compliant if I were to remove the upper courses of the retaining blocks, leaving only in place the blocks necessary to support the access point. I don't see how this supports his access point, but that's what he's proposing in that email. That be consistent with what you make a motion or to consider that application?
How can, well, okay.
He is right, even though.
How can we,
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Good.
fundamentally, how can we do this one but not the
Well, the other ones, you gave a 6-inch reveal.
The one that
Oh,
was told
wow.
to come in.
Yes, how would I know that?
Because there's a big difference.
Because of my point.
Big masonry thing. Anybody who hits that, that's the kind of stuff that you want to cut down and remove. It's not the same thing as a retaining wall away from the thing. That's a road right of way, and that's a big masonry concrete structure. You know, they're not apples to apples.
I didn't see that.
These are more, these are retaining walls and stuff away from the road right of way. Just in the, what you've given to other people.
I know, and it was on your, yeah, stink bug on her forehead.
System.
I'm gonna have to start
That's a
getting,
parking area that just has grass overgrown.
start getting paid more to keep coming to this, I'm telling you what.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Or,
I already told him. Area, see, everything else is going
Yeah.
down.
Said he can be the next road guy.
just gonna tell you,
I don't know that for fact, but I can just, that's what it
Yeah,
looks
because
like
it
to me.
doesn't, because this is.
almost, no.
He's saying that he needs this. If
support that.
That was calm today.
That's his parking
Huh?
area. That was grassy area.
No, you were calm.
And he was saying is, I'll remove the upper courses and just keep the part that I need to.
That happens.
Which, like, one,
I'm saying me. I almost,
what we asked the others,
I don't need this.
like a 6-inch review. Well, that's our mayor will entertain that.
You guys are still, you haven't.
Told you on our last call, I still love you.
Oh, absolutely, no, got nothing to do with you, nothing. Oh, I already did these, didn't I?
Yeah, the pay stubs, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
the
so.
pay stubs, I already did.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
since we're still in any other business, and we haven't got to the approval of the bills for payment yet, technically.
Okay.
Property address, 29019 138th Street, that has some decorative brick retaining wall. The retaining wall is being used to build up a parking stall area. It does show that it's vegetation grown there, but that's, what it did was make level area to park. And the homeowner is saying that they would work with the city by removing some of the courses on the side here that go towards the towards the roadway. So I'm making a motion to work with the property owners, to have them take
Hear me that? From Mr. Moore? He said it was CC'd to me, but I.
part coming out towards the road to be reduced to a 6-inch reveal. And that also, that he would go into a
Encroachment agreement?
encroachment agreement with the city.
It's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Oh, boy. Where were you?
All right,
29019,
the email that you just got.
Was it that one?
yeah. Yeah. The motion was to have the property owner reduce the retaining wall to a 6-inch reveal on the areas going out towards the road. And to enter into a
Encroachment agreement.
encroachment agreement. This is consistent with the other actions we've taken.
I second.
Unless someone went down the other.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Bob to contact.
Add him to the list.
This number, the first thing in the morning is Ally, please.
No, because the wheel's still going.
Yep, Allied Blacktop.
Danke Vito-Sean.
Sorry?
We have used Allied.
He's not here, he's in Germany someplace.
So, yeah. All righty, I need a motion to approve bills for payment.
Can I do one more thing? I tried calling, Tyler from NSU today. I did not get a call back. I emailed him. I didn't get a email back. Mike called me today and today is the last day he's going out testing. He said that it is over limits and the Adventech needs to be cleaned.
Okay,
So-
so what we'll need to do then, if he is absolutely done, is we will need to contact Steinbrecher and see if he will go out and clean that filter. That's our only option. We now, gentlemen, officially do not have a licensed operator for Frontier Trails. NSU has told us in no uncertain terms they will not do anything. Had some discrepancies, whatever, with the contract with NSU. Diligently with Tyler, and apparently their attorneys in New York, I'm saying that, attorneys in New York to try and iron out this contract. Until we have that contract, we do not have a licensed operator for this. So what I'm gonna ask is we can start reaching out to somebody like Zimmerman, find out from them if, and have it all above board, if you will, we can use their water guy if he's possible to do it. You know what I mean? To cover us as the quote licensed operator, whatever, for a couple of weeks. No pressure. No, I don't even know if this is doable, but we got to do something. So right now we are in violation of the permitting that says you are supposed to have a licensed operator in control. Not have one anymore. Then we had hoped to have all of this resolved and taken care of back in July, June-ish, whatever. So he's hung on all summer, and just so everybody's aware of this. If we can get NSU and we can get all of that dialed in, whatever, then we ultimately this problem will be. So,
And do you want me to explain what the three
yes,
issues are?
please.
It's a very long, very small print, detailed contract. Everything is, I'm not agreeable with all of it, but I understand they're the only game in town right now. But the three sticking points that we have not been able, that has been sent back to New York for review are basically three sentences. One, they have a limitation on liability of $250,000. No matter what they do to the system, the limitation on what we could recover from them, the maximum amount is $250,000. Even though they have tons of insurance. Other point, and I said no, I would agree. First I said no to that, then I said, okay, if we're gonna negotiate, I will agree to limit your liability to your amount of your insurance. You've already paid for that insurance, you have it. It should be sufficient, according to our engineer, Shane Nelson, to be able to cover us. That was point number one. Point number two was they want us to waive any consequential damages. Those are types of damages that are not directly related, but they're normally things you could recover from. So if the architect designs your building here and they put the structure elements wrong and they don't have enough support, the building collapses, you would definitely get your damages to your building, but then what happens about, your public employees can't get their equipment, you don't have, it's inconvenience, all the other stuff that you would have. And here, they want us to waive all of that, which we historically do not do. And then the last thing that we told them we'd like them to consider is they have binding arbitration. We give up our right to go to court. We'd have to go and do binding arbitration. And those are the three things that I said, look, I need you. We'll agree on everything else. Because all the other stuff was clarifying all of their various terms. I'm not agreeable to some of it, but it's not problematic. These were the three things that I told him that he needed to talk to New York about. He's had it for, this is literally 3 sentences. And yet they are trying to send us a message. They are the only game in town and that there is nobody else and we're ultimately going to have to agree to their terms. That may be the case. If they say, no, we're not going to change anything for you, then that I don't have another option for you. I did talk to, yes,
So you sent that email and it had that when you go through the state and you could look up licensed operators, and there is 2 of them in St. Cloud if I call them and ask them if they had a Class C license.
that was the information I got from Ryan Brandt. Ryan Brandt is the former person that negotiated, when this company was first started, it was called Nowie. Ryan Brandt was one of their original employees. Then they converted into EcoCheck, and Ryan Brandt was that person that negotiated the terms and was the leader of the teams. And now he's moved on to a different company unrelated to septic stuff. And the company got sold to a company in New Jersey. So NSU, when they say they're sending it back to New Jersey or New York, that's where their headquarters are.
There's only 2 of them that are players, so it was NSU.
I asked, Shane, who is doing it for Credit River? It's NSU. And I've never had a problem with NSU in the past. I've done, for all the different cities and towns that we represent, we've never had an issue. I think this is a new company that now owns them. I think they're feeling their power.
What's the contract with Credit River? Can't we get the same contract as
Might be different ownership.
It's different time, different ownership now. That contract, when that expires, I imagine that they will probably take a much harder view. His position, Tyler, the person who's now, he says, this is less than a $30,000 a year contract for us. Why are we putting ourselves out there for liability? And I said, because you're doing the work, it's part of doing business. You already paid for the insurance. What's your issue? He didn't have a real response for it. But that is where we're at. He says, I can't approve that. I got to send it back to New York, and maybe you'll hear from us.
Systems and Credit River,
Same as you,
city is a city owned.
city owned.
But like the other ones that they manage in this area.
I asked about that.
And if they are owning the system, then are they only insuring incidents with the connected users, like could it be per incident? Say,
Don't know what they do have. NSU has in the past, or the predecessor to NSU, has purchased or obtained systems. There's about 6 or 7 of them that they own outright. And there was a discussion with the mayor about, well, maybe we approach them about taking over our system. Right now, we haven't heard from them back, even Jones attempting to contact them. So I don't know. They are all options. I asked Ryan Brandt, the Tyler of the history, who I worked with negotiating these contracts in the past, said that people aren't really into buying these now. NSU might be the only person that would be interested in it. A lot of the cooperatives that historically were interested in purchasing these systems and diversifying, because they wanted a little bit more everything that was still within their area, are no longer doing that. And so, again, at this point in time, that's all I have to report. I don't know what to tell you guys other than those are the 3 outstanding issues. If, options would be to tell me, call them up and say, we're going to sign the contract as is. Another option is to wait and see what they have in terms of their agreeable or not. I can't tell you what's going on with these guys. The problem, usually in most contracts, we have other sources. If an engineer says, no, we want limitation on liability, and they all do, we say no, well, we go to another engineering. Here, I'm trying to find a different provider. Ryan Brandt told me that where we're going to find another operator is somebody from a neighboring city or town that is part of this, or what that group was, but he sent me the link to those people, and he says, you're going to look for somebody that's going to be willing to take you guys on.
It's not like a full-time job. You just need somebody to come in. He said, that's where your best bet is.
To be honest, if we could we had before, what the heck?
Well, and I think that's a temporary fix.
It's temporary, I agree.
So if we know of two that are in St. Cloud, along with any of the other ones that we can think of, moonlight and get us what is up with the contract. We're gonna need to do that. So now my question is call up to MPCA and let them know, here's our situation, here's what we're trying to do. Let them find out.
I'd say let them find out, because I think we should probably be able to try and solve this. We're still waiting for a response back from NSU. We'll hear in some fashion from them shortly, I would hope. And I would also look for somebody temporarily, so that if they, I don't know that I would point that out to them, because they're gonna immediately come down on it like a ton of bricks saying, you're not in compliance, and I don't know, while we're in the process of solving this problem, why alert them? We could get a call back from them tomorrow. The question I guess I have for the council, okay, they say, if NSU says, we are not agreeable to any of your terms, it's our terms or we walk, because frankly, you're too small. You're one system. Credit River at least had 7 or 8 systems. They were bigger systems than yours. They had a little bit more to offer, but even then, I don't know that when their contract expires, that they're going to get anything better.
So, the understanding too is that still
Payment of this.
Correct.
it's a rock and a hard place, I admit. Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when they come to, maybe
Are you contacting Keith?
we'll see.
Public Works guy, Keith?
And see if it's even possible. And also too, put the feelers out, whatever.
Keith's his name,
Two
right?
in St. Cloud as well. I'm more than willing to talk to him as well.
Gentlemen, not take any more of these on.
Zero.
When I emailed and called Tyler, I just asked for an update. It wasn't, a question, so maybe he's out of the office. But I think it's really unfortunate that he's not staying in contact with us on the status.
Well,
I contacted him Monday, and I had sent this to him, this would have been last Monday. I had sent it to him the Thursday before, because we had talked on the phone and worked out all the, yes, I can agree to this, okay, let's make this, all right. And so I accepted all of the different changes, made all the corrections that we had agreed to, and these were the only things, and they were all redlined. Laid them out in the cover, sent that to him, and hear from him. I called him on Monday. He says, I sent it to New York, and I said, am I gonna hear? And he goes, whenever I hear.
Kids are working late.
Might have been Tuesday. Must have been Tuesday, because I don't think he would have taken my phone call. It would have been Tuesday then.
Well,
I work every day.
and as far as we understand, check me if I'm wrong, this is now, even through all these negotiations, first time sent to the attorney.
That in the past, they weren't owned by the company in New York, they were owned locally.
No. I'm saying that you've had discussions with Tyler about all of these other things.
Yes.
And
No.
this is the first time.
Yes. Everything else Tyler agreed to on his quote own authority. But he said it's the money issue. It goes back to liability, He said, I've got it, this is liability, so I've got to go back to New York on that. But everything else,
he felt like he could approve on his own authority. For whatever reason, he said, no, these topics, I have to go back to New York.
I think we just wait back from them and get somebody.
And contact.
Get a contemporary, so we're not pitching in a hole here, we can kind of play ball for a little bit.
All right, thanks.
Okay, and I need a motion to approve bills for payment.
Moved.
Check number 28851 to 28902 for $49,910.38. 8 EFT payments for $11,459.17 for a total of $61,369.55.
I'll make a motion.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second? There is a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. We are adjourned at 9:26.
I said.